I get the concept that nobody can police their own community, and it seems almost laughable. It's like really, like we're so far away from that it's laughable. But what if we're not far away from that at all? Like you're so close, and it's understandable why most of us or all of us can't see it. It's really hard to see how it's possible, considering nobody can, right? How are black people gonna do it when nobody can? Like, well, you got to study the. Even if though you may feel like you don't like somebody, sometimes they have something. Just study how it is that okay. Just study what it is, because I don't know if right now it's like we don't have enough humility to police our own community. You have to see another more unexperienced younger black person maybe execute a capacity and a role that is like, well, you don't know as much as me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never gonna kowtow to you. I'm never going to capitulate to your authority. You need to listen to me. Well, quote unquote white people don't have this problem. And so I'm not saying, well, I am saying that you have to, once you have that system, you have to support the inefficiency as well as the efficiency, because even though we're wiser, smarter, and we know better and everything, you're never going to have hegemony unless someone can account for those that they sent out to enforce that which is not perfectly enforceable. So they got to make learning mistakes. You have to help them with them. They have to feel like when they arrive at the hostility where that they're actually welcomed. And then, so we might be really, 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 really close. Consider how hard the progressives are trying to subvert your values, and they want you to sell. They want you to do, the worst offense to the child. Basically, it's like a blank check for limitless killing for a business. And it's not because they don't do it because they're austerity. They don't do it because of those reasons. They do it because it's a business, and because they got just a lot of Trotskyite socialists to sign on to the noble lie, because they feel like something that's more important, at least at this juncture, than if they obfuscate reality from you that it's for a noble cause. It's like for a better cause. They don't have no integrity. They're putting forth that this is anything. They don't really gonna go and try and vie for integrity either. It's just that they feel like it's accomplishable type of way to subvert another community that is a feeder fish community. Like we're a battery or a food source. So don't get mad and irate, and like they want you to take it out on their neck and everything like that. Accost me, you know what I mean? So that I can fucking, because I can't be a racist in the capacity I'm a progressive. I have to become a victim first, and then okay, they have no problem at that point, because you're not as non-threatening as like just like a gay person. Like, why don't you just be gay? You can be non-threatening, you know what I mean? So but the idea of trying to come up with a judicial, and it's going to be governed by some kind of higher, what I mean, that's almost like caliphate stuff. That's almost like Sharia. So the fastest way to be able to police your own community is to, for a limited time, you have to bite the bullet, and you have to turn away from progressives' values as far as the fuck away from as possible. And you might be put on a fast track to some extent. Now, it's just going to be another model of what white people are doing before. So it's not like, you're just, because there's going to be gaps and spots where nobody can Because while they're trying to seize the means of production are trying to destroy it. So you're gonna have to watch over. It's like house sitting, because they can't trust their own family members to do it. So right now it's a litmus test. I'm trying to identify everybody, because they rolled this Trotskyite socialist agenda out, as they do many times before, and they have different types of stratagems that all fail, but then they never, they always double down. They never capitulate. They always just revert to the next strategy that they have lining up, and then take them another 20 or 30 or 50 years, and then they'll be doing the same shit. So the fastest way, because if you want to ensure that you just never have the ability to police your own community, sign on to the corporate agenda of selling baby parts as if we don't know what's up. Like, I don't know anything. We think that this has to do with men are trying to tell women what to do with their body. So you can blame it on the men, because the man is the one that told you to open your legs. And so, because you don't have no choice, and you have to be abused for several decades and then come out of it as if everybody told you. Nobody is telling you to stay in the relationship. It's just that once enough of your friends tell you to get out of the relationship, that they don't want you to come around anymore, because you bring him around. He knows that you telling her to leave him and everything. By the time he's aware of the advice and shit. Like, a woman's always gonna spill the beans to her man anyways. So you need these counselors and social workers and people to, how are you going to negotiate with somebody whose mind is made up that they are going to be enablers, or they're going to, so it is an agenda to tell you that the way that white people run their society is specifically a white people thing. Meanwhile, they want us to be consumerist, and COINTELPRO works through consumerism. It doesn't. The COINTELPRO agents that fuck with white people don't use the same approach that they use to black people. They just subvert their law enforcement agencies and corporatize that which would have to, the citizen needed something uncorruptible to represent the public in the judiciary, because every time they talk about crimes, it's against the public. So who is now speaking for the public, which was always paid by taxes and supposed to be uncorruptible, because they have, an unlimited amount of times, they can't never go broke. Eventually, they got some outside interests to come together for them in a corporate takeover. And that's what the land grabbing shit is all about. If you want to say they started fires, you don't have to believe me, but I think they started a lot of fires. They do a lot of gang stalking tactics on landowners, and nobody's there to see it and report it. So this is all fringe lunatic conspiracy theories. But if like 100 monkey syndrome, right? We all know something and refer to it as being a justice system, even if you know it's criminal. Like, for that, you have to turn off your better reason and rationale so that you can refer to something that we all know as a hegemonic kind of installation of a power for the infrastructure, right? And then if something happened to change that, like, I don't know, a natural disaster, and we're all flung into a form of anarchy, then black people would be able to do what they normally do, which is, select those from society that you want to say are black, than the people that you know who are black that don't represent it the way that you like to represent it, because you know that black people like hate each other, right? Yeah, that's pretty far away from being able to subject yourself in humility and dignity to the less younger, less experienced, naive constable or officer or whoever it is that shows up, that everybody has to say you're the answer. You know what I mean? We've been waiting for you to solve this for us. Because if you can't do that, then why even bother? Why even bother? And the things that are being done to the community to pull us further away from that ability is abortion. And so it's like, at some point in time, I'm too dumb to even offer a solution to our problems. We all got to find our balance. If you didn't come from balance, if everybody has to find their balance, then where did they come from if it wasn't balanced? And it's because the world revolved around you when you were born. Children balance the universe. Then it's nothing more dangerous than a grown adult child with good intentions, because those intentions that are good is going to be a solution or a problem reaction solution to somebody else's need that will become a prescription and an ought claim, saying that I deduce this is because I have epistemic justification for knowledge, and therefore I'm able to make an ought claim, which is basically a prescription. What's it called? To say what ought be done, right? Because if good intentions is the road to hell, sometimes I think that what ought be done, and somebody else I might think that's for their good, but they think it's for their bad, and you can't, you're saying tracking them down to sneak it to them, to give them the vaccine, to sneak them to something that you think is a good, because they're right now they're out of their rationality. That's helping the progressives. They'll forfeit. We'll never get smart like that, and that's kind of why they're doing this hype. What's it called? Like almost seem like hyperventilating. You know what I mean? Like, because they see a crisis, and you just can't ignore this, and you're doing it wrong, and like, if you're willing to manipulate somebody and at the same time turn around and hyperventilate like the victim, then they want us to copy that, start acting like that. That's all it is. It's like a corporate thing. No, there's no government capacity for anybody's services to do that is needed. So all this push and everything is just to see if you like it. It's like the fake alien invasion. We thought it was going to be Project Bluebeam, but it's going to be like, oh no, why don't you deduce a social ail that you can't solve? Then, like, forgetting like the prayer of serenity with the wisdom to see the things you can't change, just go in and fucking hyperventilate and glue your hands to the ground, or start identifying as a two-spirit being. Then you need special kind of like government provided equity for people who like need to shit in the litter box or something like that. I mean, people could say no one's doing that. That's not really happening. But fucking, if you want to forget about that happening in real life, you can also forget about proposing putting yourself together in that manner of fashion where you want to argue for that's okay. Because once you realize that it is happening, then you're going to say, well, it's a good thing then. Since you're saying it wasn't happening, now you're going to find out that, okay, if you have examples and you can back it up with receipts, then it must be a good thing. So I'm going to diagnose some Filipinos as black and some white people that I like more as black people, and tell you, you know, if you want to be like, you know, black, you got to act more like these people. Because we all do that to each other. We do that in high school, all throughout high school. Well, so-and-so over here says you whooping or whatever, and you're like a fake black or something, because you're not acting like with the culture in high school. That's how it was. It's like, you know, you're supposed to have certain fashions and do certain things and be in a certain clique, and then you're one of the black. So you're acting like Poindexter or something like that, and I went and found me and a Cambodian friend, and he acts more black. He's got more black in him than you. That's the kind of games that we was playing, and we haven't forgot those games, so we could pick it back up at any time and do that shit whenever we like. And I don't even listen to somebody in crowd ritual with the blonde, short, boyish hairstyle, the in crowd telling everybody I'm in the in crowd. Fucking old ass ritual from the 1990s is gonna tell me that what kind of black person you need to be. Joy Reid. She's got that blonde hair all the time now. Like, that is so whack and from the 90s. That was a fucking in-crowd ritual from the 90s. She just leans on it all the time. She's gonna fucking fuck around and never have a fucking black experience. You see people like that, we're like, well, she's hella darker than you. Why do you get to say anything? Because I could fucking find it in somebody and indoctrinate them into my culture instead of fucking more black than you. Kick rocks.